Beep, beep, beep. Bit close. Beep, 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 beep. Hello, peeps. How we doing? Right, okay. Ooh. I found something interesting. I'm probably not the only one that's got it. Obviously, there are people out there doing much better work than I am in terms of digging through the dirt of the past to find things. But I thought it might interest you. So there's a Substack that goes with this, and you do need to be looking at the Substack. Okay, so the Substack, the link is in the doobries. It's the first link. Come and become a warrior teacher. It's very exciting. Got a few people who've already applied. I want to see more. Many more. We need many more people to come on the warrior teacher program. So if you can do, buy me a coffee if you don't mind, or, subscribe to this and that, or you can send me money by Stripe. All the links as usual in the doobries. I've got morning out this morning, state of the bloody air. I've got things to do, so I want to get this out quick so I can tell you about it. I said yesterday I found something interesting. You'll see on the Substack that the first thing I've got, this is about history, so there's some historic stuff going on here, right? So on the Substack, right? Okay, so you'll see first, there's a quote from Dyke magazine going back as long as 1977 ago about if we don't deal with these transsexuals now, it'll end up being a torrent. So you can see that's on the site, and the picture's there if you want to copy it and keep it. It's worth noting what was going on at that time, 1977. Hello, right? Okay, so that's interesting for obviously the reason that it was 1977 for a start, let alone that the lesbians were warning us long ago of the nonsense that comes with gender. So you can see there an artifact from that time. Then I went searching, and I found on the Kinsey Institute website a brochure, as Hyacinth would say, a brochure for the Harry Benjamin International Gender Dysphoria Association 6th Biennial or 16th Biennial Symposium, London, 17th to 21st of August, 1999, with Richard Green, president and lead host. This is worth mentioning because Benjamin and money and Kinsey, we know they're at the root of many of these problems. And Hannah Barnes's book will take you through the more recent incidents. But I thought this was interesting because it's been PDF'd. I've got a bloody itch. It's been PDF'd, right? So I've actually embedded the PDF in the Substack so you can see it. And what it gives us essentially, although it doesn't tell us what's being spoken about, it does give you an idea of the tenor of the kind of thing that was on the agendals, right? So we've got here things like remembering Harry Benjamin, etc., psychotherapy, gender identity issues in children and adolescents. So gender identity is taken as a given. Transition, attitudes to gender dysphoria, posters with wine and cheese. That can't be right. Between 8 and 10 in the morning. Goodness, these people. Things were different then, weren't they, in the 90s, right? And then we move on to things like working together, issues with HIV, etc., right? So, for example, the first program that the participant panels were part of was called Remembering Harry Benjamin, who's the guy that started most of this nonsense. And that was along with John Money, Leah Schaffer, Christine Wheeler, and Richard Green. This is the real sort of board of directors of the whole nonsense you've got on here. And that was John Money by tape, remembering Harry Benjamin, obviously talking about Harry Benjamin. And then we had transsexual professionals. Anne Lawrence is on that. And then we have Law and the Transsexual, Stephen Whittle. Imagine my surprise, Stephen Whittle. Gender identity issues in children and adolescents. Well, who have we got here? Domenico De Ceglie, who's one of the people that were absolutely central in getting mermaids up and running and gyres and all that nonsense. Hannah Barnes's book. Just, it's De Ceglie, right? There we go. The men behind this, that's what we're seeing here. Kenneth Zucker, Dominic De Ceglie. Biological Origins with Lewis Goran, Richard Green. Biological Origins. See where it starts? See where the rot started? And working together again would be Stephen Whittle. Then we've got a Symposia, Emerging Gender Identities. This is people getting together to talk about nonsense. Bear that in mind. A Life Without Gender in the Gendered Society. New Directions in Transgendering. So 1999. Gender Erasing. Third Gendering. Gender Freeing. Transgender an emerging social movement. James and Veronica Elias. In her book, Hannah Barnes said they saw themselves as a social movement. Well, it's no surprise. These are the swine that were behind it. All right, transition. Laser hair removals. Transition in the workplace. The post-operative male to female individual in the workplace by Sheila Kirk. Then they went to attitudes to gender dysphoria. Meeting at the Gate. National Survey. Anatomy of gendered relationships. Crossing boundaries, here we go. Crossing boundaries and creating some missing experiences for female to male transsexuals. Now that's interesting, isn't it? Crossing boundaries and creating some missing experiences for female to male transsexual. You know what that is, don't you? I'm guessing that's about getting access to gay men. It's been here in plain sight. They've been in plain sight. Anatomy of a gender relationship. Can this marriage be saved for the love of God? So they knew then that this was causing problems in marriages with the older men who were doing it for reasons God only knows. Assisting your transgender client who is coming out to children of any age. A transgender dilemma, the forgotten journey of the partners and families. Well, what's the dilemma? The dilemma is the partners and families tend to have a terrible time of it. That's what the dilemma is. Children of transsexual parents. Psychological functioning of 92 prebertal children with gender identity disorder, which is what it used to be called. And of course, we now know from the work being done elsewhere that actually it's all nonsense. None of it was ever real. And then we've got men trapped in men's bodies. Autogynephilic eroticism as a motive for seeking sex reassignment by Anne Lawrence. They've known about it all this time. This is when Ray Blanchard was doing his work, but the point being, we get denials of this. They won't talk about it at all. They wiped it from the history, and here they are talking about it at their own conference. Penis prosthesis implantations, we're then into the surgery part. Short-term and long-term histologic effects of castration and estrogen treatment in breast tissue. You know, they're really looking at this in a multitude of ways. Sex reassignment of adolescent transsexuals. There you go, sex reassignment of adolescents. Since the beginning, right? Since right back to this. Even before, with Kinsey and Money and their ridiculous and perverse experiments. And then there's various posters they put up. I can't see the posters, unfortunately, but they've come from different people, which you'll see. And then they've got a list of the Scientific Programme Committee, which includes Dominic Tchegli, Richard Green, Stephen Whittle. It's essentially all the usual suspects that we should expect. And the conference organisers gratefully acknowledge support by Shearing Healthcare Limited and Press for Change, which was the name of the organisation that's caused so much problems in this arena. And then we have a list of networks you can join: Press for Change, Gyres, Mermaids, Beaumont Society, FTM Network, and Gender Trust. And in the entire documentation, there is no mention whatsoever of anything to do with being lesbian, gay, or bisexual. Nothing. Because they never were part of what we did. They hated us. The Beaumont Society in particular didn't like gay men at all. They hated us. So go and have a look. It's there. It's there for you to see in its faded, dusty image of this. So I stuck that up. So we've got the, 1977 Dyke magazine. This, 1999. Interesting. And then finally, well, not finally, but I put up a clip from Dress to Kill, right? Which is a film by Brian De Palma that came out in 1980-81, when those who were in the know were starting to see that something was terribly wrong with this whole situation, and that's what he saw. So he put it up. I put up the clip for you to watch if you want to. Be warned, it's not pleasant. Okay, be warned, it's all Substack, but it's not pleasant. But it isn't designed to be. It isn't designed to be. Watch it, and then see what I've written underneath. Right, only a short one today. Lots to do, plenty of people to see. Going to start on Sheffield again shortly. So I hope you're all well, and it's great to talk to you, and I'll see you later. Bye.